I'm calling the meeting to order.
At 4:29.
We have a quorum. Because I can count. And, I don't know what it means to properly notice the meeting. I
That's
guess
a
that's
question
the,
to them.
You just ask, was the meeting properly
was
noticed?
the meeting properly noticed? I think it was. That's basically notification of the meeting.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Within
All right,
like-
start with any owner comments.
Do we have to do roll call? We don't
No.
need to? Okay.
No owner comment. Okay, do we need to move to adopt the agenda? Yes. Does someone want to do that?
I'll make a movement.
Someone want to second that?
I'll second.
Maybe I'll second, okay. Now we got the minutes, approval of the minutes, someone want to move, we have two sets of minutes. I wasn't at the meeting on the second, I think that maybe we just bypass that and to focus on the last meeting. So any questions, comments, or anyone want to move to approve them?
Well,
You had a comment.
I looked at this too and thought, wait, didn't we do that last month? But we weren't able to do it last month because we didn't have a quorum.
Correct.
But that's not in minutes, so. You know,
You had quorum, you just didn't call, you just didn't vote on the matter.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
There's
there was
only
a motion, a second, no vote.
because,
Well, it wasn't called.
Was that because we didn't have a chair? Because we
Just
didn't,
no,
They just called.
didn't.
We moved on and
Mhm.
didn't call it, and it should have been called to vote.
okay, but anyway, something like that should be in the minutes. Because I thought that the reason we didn't, but that was the first meeting. No, wait a minute,
Well, no,
our first meeting was in June,
Which didn't
Which
count.
wasn't
because
the
we didn't have-
meeting.
right, so we didn't
Didn't
do
have
anything. We canceled the July meeting, right?
No, we canceled the June meeting.
We canceled the
were
June
here
meeting.
for
So
the-
we were here in
Yes.
May, but we
We
didn't have
canceled
enough
June.
people.
We had a July meeting.
We had the
Correct.
July meeting.
All right, so we
Correct.
canceled, we couldn't have a meeting in May, which is when we initially would have done this.
That's correct.
Okay, because we didn't have enough people. June, we canceled.
Mhm.
Last month, we took a vote, but we didn't take a vote. It
We
was
didn't
a
vote.
motion and seconded, and then it died.
So the minutes read for the July 13th meeting that you, that for the approval of minutes, Mr. Fink made a motion to approve the February minutes, which was seconded by Mr. Petkus. The motion was not called to a vote and the meeting proceeded to the next agenda item. The February minutes remain pending for approval.
Okay. This is one of the things that I'm trying to get across with these meeting minutes. It should say why. You know, having no,
Okay. I hear your,
people got sidetracked, we didn't, that should be in here. My opinion, because looking back, like, now I'm sitting there thinking, what happened? I didn't get approved. I know we talked about it. I know we voted on it last month, but I didn't remember that it just kind of, evaporated someplace.
What are the guidelines around minutes? Like what's supposed to be included? Obviously, it's not a
so the.
transcript, but
Correct. And the procedure as far as what staff does on recording minutes has changed drastically in probably about the past year based on advisement from legal counsel on they should only care following the we forgot the rules. Parliamentary rules, which is the actions taken, not the discussion of the actions. So that's why with these, it's recording anything that needs to be officially recorded for communication or for community records, which is votes,
okay.
or if a vote was not called. The why or the discussion of the matter outside of a discussion item topic, those are advised not to be captured in the minutes unless there is a scribe attending a meeting. to do
Okay.
that.
Isn't that what she is?
Mhm.
Now I've seen,
Staff is.
I've seen in previous meetings, I don't know if it's on here now, that we do have, obviously we have a video of the meeting and a transcript of it for us to be able to go back to or anybody to. So I guess what's the difference?
So if more context is requested, then the transcript can be requested and shared through a record request. Also, then you would be appointed to the meeting videos.
Okay.
So you have an actual printed record, transcript of the meeting?
It's in the video. So if you go on.
No, that's like,
Yeah,
when I hear transcript,
yes.
it's a document that I can print.
No,
Okay,
well,
that's what I'm talking about. If somebody goes back,
well, no, not print, but it's accessible. Like I'm looking at it right now. I can see.
but there's something that if I wanted to, I could print it.
I can show you.
Yeah, you could print it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you print it?
Well, I don't know, I want to make,
Yeah, you take
I
a
want to be
screenshot. and
clear
print
on
it.
what,
Yeah,
Right.
you can print the transcript of the meeting recording.
Yes.
I'll pull up.
and I could see how that might be for an action item, but I can't believe that would also apply to just the discussion items, because how do you keep track from month to month where you know, what you, for instance, like community magazine, you know, okay. The committee discussed the effectiveness of the community magazine and also what impact the new magazine may have on our current publication. Mary was asked to investigate.
And
You
she's gonna-
can't put
she's
that-
gonna report.
I understand that, but that, in my opinion, should be in the minutes. There's nothing controversial about that. There's nothing that anybody's gonna come back and say. I think I would like to see the legal opinion of that.
You can submit a records request for that.
I can do that.
Here's, just so you. This is how the transcript.
So
Right,
what
so
we
in
would need,
terms of what we need to do for this,
we need a motion to approve the communication meeting minutes for February 2nd.
okay, so
Would
we
somebody
had,
like to make that motion.
motion.
I'll motion it.
I'll second it
Second it. Now we need a vote.
and then a vote. So I will vote on, I know I voted yes, or I intended to the last time, so I'm intending to this time.
Okay. But part of the problem, who,
We're-
was that
we're-
Fernando person? Was he on that last committee?
No,
There's not.
Doug
enough
and I are
people.
the only ones who were on the committee.
Well,
at
we
that
can't
time.
vote on it
Yes, you
because
can.
we weren't there.
The meeting was shared in that invite for you if you'd like, or you can abstain, but the active members can vote on this. I did check.
Okay.
So there's a motion, a second. That's a call to vote, and the vote is
I'm gonna abstain.
Yes.
3 in favor, 1 abstention. And then a motion for do we have a motion for the July 13th meeting?
I'll
Mary,
make the motion.
I'll second, Bill seconds.
And I read them, I vote for them.
Same here.
Okay, so
I was there, so
I think these are good points. So I actually have a question. So why can't Michelle make not copious notes? You could make very succinct notes about we discussed the potential of partnering with another community magazine to enhance the one that we have. We had a report, and here's the next steps, or here's the outcome.
Exactly.
That it.
Exactly.
It could be 3 lines, and then that could go into the, be part of the minutes. Then you'll see, if you, in case you missed, and the mysterious Frederico could look at it. And maybe he will provide some input on that at that point, or ask a question, or maybe he knows this lady, or maybe he has a better idea. So why couldn't we just do that? Just 3 lines, just capture the essence of what we discussed and the outcome.
what the
Today-
next step is.
Yeah, today's gonna be easy.
Mhm.
You're gonna report on what you found out in discussing the situation.
Mhm.
We're gonna kind of kick it around a little bit and say, is it worthwhile? Should we let them just go? Is it something we can incorporate into this as maybe part of our plan or not? And that's
Mhm.
where we're gonna land. And that to me could be captured easily in 3 lines.
Absolutely.
We can, for now, go look at doing that. I'll have to check to see if that is a directive that we will be passing down.
Okay.
And if it's not in this, just having some sort of like record of what we talked about the last time, just to be able to reference. I think
Well,
what
and
we're
that's what they're,
trying.
that's what they're saying that this thing is, but
Yeah,
you
but-
know,
but
it'd be a
not
lot
having to go through a
easier to
whole
look at
trans-
this,
yeah.
3 lines, if oh yeah, now I remember. You know,
like
Bill had a
if-
real
I mean,
problem.
If some, like because I know we don't have access to, like I don't have access to download it, but like downloading it and then just like a summary.
of what was discussed, that would,
But like you said,
It
just.
doesn't have to be in this necessarily, but just something for us to reference for each meeting, especially if we have somebody who hasn't been. Actually, I would have found it helpful last year when I first started on the committee, just to be able to get up to speed on all the things that we discussed, because this doesn't really help you figure that out over time, so I agree with that.
But she did provide her report to management, which would help. One more thing, excuse me, while I'm thinking about it, the call to order should also include the name of the person who is not here. I didn't know his name until today. So it should say Fernando, blah, 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 is absent, was absent.
Go in the roll call,
Mhm.
just any committee member. So when it's, they're gonna
Yeah, so the
verify
ones that are here,
quorum
and then who's
just
not
list
here.
Who's not.
Yeah, it'd be just pretty easy just to list the name.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
people. Say present, absent.
Do a teacher roll call.
Mhm.
All right, so I don't know, did we finish voting on the last, side? You stopped.
We did not. We
There was
got
no-
interrupted. We have to vote on the minutes.
3 with 1 abstention. right?
One
It
session
was
was
on February, we were doing the
July.
July.
I vote to approve that.
Okay.
I vote to approve.
That's how many?
4-0.
That's 4, okay.
Okay.
Jacob,
Mhm.
I remember, and it might have not been last year's committee, but maybe the preceding year, didn't we create a portal, a communications portal on the website for us to access things like minutes and materials that we created? Because I just remember, like we put together a pretty succinct crisis plan, step-by-step plan. And I remember it was accessible, but I honestly don't remember where to go to get it. But does that exist? Am I crazy?
Like a chat,
Probably does. I
something like
think It
that
was probably
between committee
in
members.
Teams.
Okay.
So yeah, it was
I
part
think
of
it was a Teams folder that I can try, we can look up and see, Communications Committee. Chat files.
because that would be through Teams,
Mhm.
one place for you to access and for you to store things and not worry about them and leave it to the committee members if they really want to rehash or review or
Mhm.
remember. You go in there and look like 2 days before the meeting and say, oh, yeah, that's right, I remember. Or if you go on vacation, you miss a meeting, you come back, look, see what happened. So
Yeah,
that was a pretty easy thing. And I just remember we did that for that very reason.
so what are we gonna do for today? Are we gonna ask Michelle to just jot down?
Oh, she's, well, I think if you're willing to do it,
The three
Michelle,
weeks?
to just,
I take notes for the minutes anyway.
and then I think that it should be accessible in this Teams portal, in our create a folder, just create a 2026 folder and August meeting, there it is.
We don't post the committee meeting minutes on the website? On there?
We haven't because they haven't been approved.
Yes, they're posted on
But I mean, after,
But once
after
they're
they've been
approved,
Yeah,
yeah.
everything's supposed to be posted.
Yeah.
The official
Mhm.
minutes.
But again, you
Yes,
know,
they get
if somebody's sitting there and saying, you know, what did they talk about? You know, what? I know they talked about blah, blah, blah. It's easier to flip through 2 pages of minutes, saying, there it was for 6 months, than try to go through 6 months of a transcript, you know, or something.
Mhm.
And especially if they repeat, you know, from month to month, and you know, okay, we talked about it for 6 months, but I'm looking specifically for this
Mhm.
kind of a thing.
Sounds like you're having to wait until you hear from legal counsel.
No, they've
exactly what
heard,
we
I
can
want
do.
to, I want to see the legal opinion, because I find that hard to believe. For an action item, maybe. For just a discussion item, I can't see that applying, but I'll make a records request.
Okay. Anything else on the minutes? Okay,
Have we
let's
finished the vote on
go
it?
ahead with the main part of the agenda and talk about the community magazine. The other one.
Oh,
Just
that's
for-
me. That's you.
Yeah, just for
Oh, boy.
context, we found out that there is someone in the community who is planning to create something that might be seen as either complementary or competitive with Celebration News, but the focus of what was proposed or what was planned was more feature oriented and maybe focusing on the actual members of the community and things that they do,
Mhm.
hobbies, vocation, history, whatever. So
Okay.
you,
Take it away. All right.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to talk to Michelle Zabel. Not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. I was in a car driving and she was at Magic Kingdom. So we had a very quick conversation, but it was very productive. I sent you a summary earlier this morning, just so we had it and all that. My thoughts, because my thoughts run away from
Did you
me.
send that to everybody?
I did not.
Okay.
I only sent it to Michelle and
Okay.
Doug because I wasn't sure of protocol. So I wanted to.
I just didn't know if I missed it or not,
No,
because I've been trying
you
to
did
look at
not.
that email.
Yeah, you did not. So my summary is, I'm just going to read what I wrote. My summary is the discussion with Michelle Zabel for Greet Magazine is the name of it. That I found her to be very vested in the community, number one, in Celebration. She moved to here specifically to be around her kids and I'm assuming future grandkids, but very vested in the community and doing what it takes to grow community awareness and connection. That's basically what she's aiming for with the magazine. I also found that she was very open and eager for a relationship with the communications committee. She's said on multiple times during the conversation, any way that we can complement each other, help each other along, she is open to discussion at any time. So I thought that was really nice to hear. She is integrating herself within the Osceola Chamber of Commerce. A few other organizations, she said, but I didn't write them down. So guess what? They're gone. But she seems to be very gung ho about.
she's excited.
She is. She's very excited. The purpose of the magazine is a deep dive into the stories of Celebration. Connections through stories about the people, pets, family recipes, talking about heirlooms that people have, just anything to bring awareness and connection between residents. And it's completely directed to residents is another thing. Sponsored articles for features and shout out. She has 40 business partners so far, and it is growing. So advertising, the more advertisement she has, the more content she's able to do. Yep,
It'll be interesting.
that's a big one.
Interesting to see if that takes flight, if our advertising for our magazine drops. Especially if the pricing is less, because that used to be really expensive.
Does management get that information or is that just all through our publisher? It's through the publisher. We want it. Okay.
Okay. Social media is a large part of their outreach with videos, live events, Instagram, Facebook, anything to get Celebration on the map is her goal.
I haven't seen any videos. Where did she post them? Did she say?
If you look at Greet Magazine, there's tons.
Oh, okay.
So has she published her first issue yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
They have been active on social
So
media.
they're having a website or.
Mhm.
Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook.
Yep.
What does she get out of
Yeah.
this?
So her partnerships are increasing. The social media is the biggest part. She's even has a team just for digital outreach that they are liking, commenting, and posting about business partners and things just to get their algorithms to where
That's interesting.
residents are being seen. That's one of the things. There is no charge for content. It's all through business partnerships as far as promoting the businesses of Celebration. The parent company, which I did not catch the name of.
N2 company.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
two?
N is a Nancy, 2
And I heard the end and I was like, I didn't catch it, so I'm not gonna put it in my report. Has been in business for 22 years and they're in over 500 communities across the US. Which, that sounds pretty
So it's kind of a
established.
franchise.
It's
Mhm.
very much
It's
it
a
is.
franchise.
It is.
Although it does look like this will be the first location in Florida.
It is. That's the other thing. She's coming in hot to Florida.
And the other markets use a print version of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And they
see.
mail directly to residents. They do not have stands. So that's one thing different. There's not going to be stands with magazines in it. It is for residents only. So it will be mailed out to all the residents individually. They print in Texas and it will be mailed directly. Monthly.
So she's buying a list to.
Correct. Correct. There will be monthly publications and they now have covers well into 2027. So she's drumming up support and she has a staff of resident writers and editors that are in-house. Her design team is outside. So it's not done there, but she has the staff in-house. She was not ready to have a copy ready today because it's not available yet, but in my opinion, after talking with her, I believe that it will complement
Mhm.
the magazine here. And I do think it's going to put a positive foot forward for Celebration. Just in speaking with her, she did send me an email to read to you guys today. And it's a lot of the same things that I just said, but bear with me. This is from
You're
her
doing great.
directly. Oh, well, thank you.
Go, Mary.
I tried. She said, Dear Mary, thank you for the opportunity to share more about Greet Celebration and our mission within the community. Greet Celebration is a monthly resident exclusive magazine that exists to strengthen community through storytelling. Every issue is mailed directly to Celebration homes and is built around the idea that every resident has a story worth sharing. Our goal is to help neighbors know one another better by highlighting the people, passions, businesses, traditions, and experiences that make Celebration such a special place to live. Rather than focusing on news, Greet Celebration celebrates the people behind our community. Each issue features a diverse collection of stories, including residents' profiles, local traditions, travel education, home and garden, recipes, pets, volunteerism, and local businesses. Every article is thoughtfully chosen to reflect the character of Celebration and to foster a stronger sense of connection among neighbors. One of the things I love most about this publication is that it creates a lasting record of our community. While social media posts quickly disappear, each issue captures the people, milestones, and stories that define Celebration at a particular moment in time, something residents often save, revisit, and treasure for years to come. Our publication continues to grow alongside the support of our advertising partners. As more local businesses join us, we are able to dedicate even more pages to editorial content. We launched as a 28-page publication and are on track to expand to approximately 48 pages within our first year, allowing us to feature even more residents, organizations, and community stories. Our advertising partners are much more than advertisers. Many are Celebration residents themselves who believe in investing in the community they call home and share our vision of strengthening local connections. Beyond their print advertisements, we tell the stories behind their businesses through professionally written feature articles, complimentary video production, expanded digital branding, and social media amplification. We also host live community events where featured residents and our business partners have the opportunity to meet and build meaningful relationships that extend beyond the pages of the magazine. One aspect that makes Greet Celebration especially unique is that it is truly created by the community for the community. I serve as both publisher and editor, and our writers and photographers are Celebration residents as well. Because we live here, we have a genuine understanding of the people and stories that make Celebration unique, and we strive to reflect that authenticity in every issue. While Greet Celebration is locally produced, I also receive the support and resources of N2 Publishing, an industry leader that has been helping publishers build community through neighborhood magazines for more than 22 years. Today, N2 supports publications in more than 500 communities across all 50 states, providing proven editorial, marketing, and publishing expertise while allowing each publication to remain uniquely local. Our hope is that each issue not only introduces neighbors to one another, but also encourages civic pride, strengthens community engagement, supports local businesses, and celebrates the people who make Celebration such an extraordinary place to call home. Thank you for your interest in Greet Celebration. I appreciate the opportunity to share our vision and would be happy to answer any questions. Warm regards, Michelle Zabel.
Good. So I just want
There
to,
you go.
Bill has 5 minutes with us.
Yep.
I wanted to get his perspective first,
Mhm.
about what you heard and how you see it as it relates to complementing Celebration News.
I mean, I think the content itself will complement well. I think it'll be interesting to see. I get the one question I would ask our current publisher, not to say that there's a competitor in town, but to see if they've had lost any advertisers. That would be my, and again, like I said, you know, I'll be curious to see how much longer he continues doing this anyway. This publication, because it felt like when we talked to him the last time, it was on the top of his list, so. You know, I think content wise, I don't see the issue with it. It's more, you know, will this be able to continue in production if any of those advertisers move over to her?
Right.
But a lot of those people might advertise in both. You never know. Depends on what the value each business finds and how much this circulates.
Yeah, I mean, the same companies advertise in Time and Newsweek too, so.
Yeah. So
Okay. Any initial thoughts? I have a bunch of thoughts, but I'll let.
I was just gonna say, I think I was never a fan of that magazine. I'm still not a fan of that magazine. And if this is everything she says it is, it's gonna blow that out of the water.
I think they do both complement each other. I will let the committee know that she reached out to me to do like an interview for my trip to Salem. So to be like in the October magazine. We'll see if it, you know, if it comes to fruition or not. But I did meet with one of her interviewers to see like and the process and everything. And when I spoke with her too, I got some more information. And like what Mary said, it's like it does seem like it's just more resident story based, basically like what you would see one of your neighbors post on Facebook, you know, in print. And what I was thinking is people will be excited for this magazine, because it's new and it's interesting. But in doing so, I also feel like it's going to create a habit of them realizing there's another magazine where like a lot of people aren't opening magazines as much anymore. This kind of will help create a new habit because they're going to start expecting to get one magazine. And now it's like, okay, we got two. And then they're going to realize one is for like community information and one is for more like your social.
Yeah, the strategy for the two are totally different.
Mhm.
It's good.
Mhm.
And that's why I think they can complement each other. Clearly the advertising piece is an unknown
Right.
and time will tell how that impacts. The only, I would ask one thing of thought, one thing. Is there a way that we could get her to agree to stagger the distribution so that, let's say, I'm gonna make this up, I don't know. Let's say this one comes out on the 1st of every month and hers comes out on the 15th of every month. Just for a point of differentiation and to address your point, to make it really clear, there's two distinct publications. They serve distinct needs and they have different content. That's the only thing I would ask of her.
I think she would be open to you asking that question. I
So
really do,
that's my.
because I don't know how set in stone things
I
are.
don't think we
I
should
do
really
not.
care about that. I think it's a positive thing. I think it's totally different from what's in here and will be perceived as something totally different. But I would be really great if we could somehow just stagger the distribution so that this one shows up. And I don't even care, maybe hers wants to, maybe she wants to do hers at the beginning of the month. I
I
don't
do
care.
not know.
But I just think
That
it
I
needs to
didn't
be
know.
maybe a 2-week window between one and the other. Plus, it's kind of like people will welcome, I don't know, people still
Something
get,
other than jumping?
no, people will say, oh, I got this one. Oh, I'm looking forward now to getting that one. And versus they both come at the same time and you put one aside and read the other one. That's the real reason why I want to do it, is I want people to pay, for the advertisers to say, hey, this has value. It's kind of a coffee table magazine. But let's face it, people read it once, maybe twice, and then they don't look at it again. And that's all we can ask. And that's why I would like to see her stagger this. See, well,
Another differential though for our advertisers is our magazine is put out in various areas too throughout town, not just to residents. So that is a differential. So as far as exposure goes, we this magazine also goes to I'm sure a lot of tourists or visitors that are coming to Celebration and want to
realtors
know
have
what's
it in their
going on.
office for some
Yeah.
people looking for a home that's sitting right
Mhm.
there.
And
So
the stands are on
Yeah, the
Celebration
stands.
Avenue and
So we still have, you know, I would say maybe like a greater share of the market for our advertisers in this magazine. So I feel like if it does come up with the publisher, you could kind of explain the differential there.
and she said there absolutely will not be stands
Mhm.
with it in it. She made that point.
So back to
very
my
clear.
question, what does she get out of this?
This
If
is
it's
her
a,
job.
if it's a, so she makes money off
yeah,
that.
they pay her.
Okay, that's,
She's
that when you said it was a
like she
franchise.
owns a McDonald's.
Yeah,
Okay.
She- but the-
this is her job, but
Can
I will
ask, do you-
say,
do you-
it was
any
very-
sense of how old she is? I'm just curious.
She's got kids here, so she's, I guess, because I caught that too.
yeah, well, I mean, I obviously didn't say
We could look her up. I guess.
how old, but she has kids in college,
I'd say, I think adult children.
adult.
Okay, so she's 50,
Yeah.
or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Maybe she had a career and
She did, and she
kind of winding
moved
down or it's
here.
over, and now she's doing
Yeah,
this.
she moved here to be around kids.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Mhm.
Look, I
Yeah.
don't see, I see zero conflict. Total complementary. Content is totally different. If you could just agree on distribution schedule, that'd be great.
I think.
One
she's
other
open to
thought,
be-
and maybe she'd be willing to do this. Is there a way she could share with us when I think you're working on what, the October now?
Mhm.
Is there a way that we could share with her as well? Her October editorial schedule, our October, just to say, hey, here's what we're planning for October. And she'll show us what she's planning for October and see if there's a conflict or whatever, just so we kind of, it's like we're giving her information, we're giving her something, and maybe it will spark an idea for her. Maybe something that she's doing will spark an idea for you for our publication. Just again, sharing, kind of collegial.
She
thing.
very much wants a relationship with the
Collaborate.
committee. She does. She wants to talk to
Those
us.
would be the two things I think I would like her to agree to. Sharing editorial plans within the,
Mhm.
whatever the, timing is, and agreeing to stagger distribution so that one comes out and then 2 weeks later, the next one comes out every month. That would be kind of cool, actually, if she could do that.
And if she won't, maybe we could ask our people if they. would
Yeah, I
do
think,
that. That they would make ours the 15th instead of the first.
Yeah,
If we,
we
you
could
know,
do that.
we'd really want to do that.
I think we should do it.
Should we reach out to her again?
Because my theory about this, even though it is coffee table and it is available in town, when we get it at home, everybody looks at it.
Mhm.
And then they don't look at it anymore. And, you know, that's just a fact. And then the other one, then that one comes. I think what I don't want to happen is if they come at the same time, one's gonna be preferred material, and this is gonna be cast aside, and the advertisers are gonna be not happy with that.
Okay.
That's the primary reason why I want her to agree to that.
I think
the
so.
outcome.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think for both. So I think a good follow-up question is, does she know when her distribution will be? And let her know ours is at right now, at the beginning of the
Yeah.
month.
This shows up on the first or the.
And then maybe
31st.
recommend and see how she takes that recommendation, and then we could go from there.
And Mary, try to position it as beneficial to her.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Based,
think
yeah,
she
based on what
probably
Doug
would
is
see that.
saying.
Same on the editorial sharing too, like, hey, maybe you want to see what we're doing, and give you some idea for future issues of your publication, and we can see what you're planning to do, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Be open to editorial sharing.
So, Michelle,
Mhm.
you're working on October now. If we were, let's just say, if starting in November, she agrees to this sharing. When would you be able to share with her your editorial plan for the November publication?
Well, as we've been going, we usually have a theme already preset.
That's not this technology.
Correct. Yeah, and that's been set for a while, so that kind of is a loose theme that we go with. And sometimes I don't have my contributions usually until the 20th of the month. So I have a general idea of what I'm getting, but not specifically until then.
So, okay, so she agrees to sharing, or we just have to figure out based on,
Connect them.
when that
Connect
would be.
them. Okay.
It's not like she's pretty loosey-goosey on this, and she'd just be willing to do it.
She just said to me that, any way that she can help and provide anything to promote us as well, she's open to
Yeah,
it.
that should be sort of the essence of your next
Oh, yeah.
exchange, that we want to help promote yours. We think you can do the same for ours, and we can be,
You know what might be interesting if the committee wanted to, and there was collaboration down the road,
Mhm.
how that went. Each magazine kind of explained the difference. So like in our magazine, we welcome greet to the community and kind of give some background.
That would be kind
And then in
nice.
her magazine, she
Yeah.
explains, where, like what greet is, and then explains for town information and everything like that to reference Celebration News to kind of define each other, where to find the.
we do a preamble for hers, and she'll do the same for ours, and
That would be
it's
nice.
a context setter.
Mhm.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, all
Okay. So I'm reaching out.
right,
to
so the
her
next steps
again.
will be, you will follow up with her. You will ask the questions, propose those things, and then come back to at the next meeting
Well,
or sooner. Oh, you're
I
gonna be
will-
out,
yeah, I'm gonna be going.
so can you
September,
share
October.
that?
I will share the
beforehand,
conversation
Michelle?
beforehand
Circulate
and
it.
you guys can share it. I will be glad to do that. Or I could ask her to come to the meeting.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, she's a resident, she could come. You can't stop her from coming, she's a resident.
I could
But
ask her.
would the committee want to invite her as a discussion?
That's the
item?
question.
Yeah, not to sit in the whole, I mean, I wouldn't want to stay here if I was there, right? Just come for the part that impacts her, so.
Do you want me to invite her to
So
come
if,
to
you
the
know,
meeting? Okay,
Either or maybe.
either or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. Either one is fine.
Then you could just make it the first discussion item and that
And
she's.
she
welcome.
can, she can get out of here.
What's that?
Okay.
What's the date on that?
September
14th.
September 14th.
Send an invitation for the.
It's on there.
On the
It's,
agenda.
printed
At the bottom.
At the bottom,
yeah.
Okay,
I will ask her.
Michelle, next agenda,
Oh, yeah,
item.
there's.
Just kind of just cover up on.
Okay. We have our magazine themes and they go through November, which is coming up. And so I haven't chosen to be on there. I wanted to see if anybody had any thoughts, if they wanted to start on December, moving into next year. Or are themes still relevant? Is that how we want to go about things?
But we always do the same theme in December.
This is my first go around, so. I
We
guess
only
it
launched
could-
themes,
Yeah, that's new.
Here.
yeah, just over a year ago. So I think it was actually, it might have been May, June, so July, I think was the first July of 20,
So a year ago.
yeah, so just at a year.
Year ago.
25.
Launched it.
As a regular contributor for the last 8 years, I always tried to do my celebrators articles around, like October, Halloween. One year I went and I interviewed a couple of members of the celebrators to see what they remembered when they were a kid about Halloween, or Thanksgiving or spring or, something like that.
So we could do a December Christmas tradition or, I mean, we have to be non-denominational here. So we have to include Hanukkah, right, in that.
And
I mean, you
Kwanzaa.
could just call it traditions.
Tradition.
Yeah.
Holiday traditions,
Mhm.
being called that.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people do unique things that are special to them and their family. So that
I
could
do
be
that
one.
7 fishes thing on Christmas Eve. Holiday traditions.
I know last January, we focused on the 30th anniversary. That was sort of the kickoff of that.
Mhm.
I remember. It's fun. There's something for January.
See, and again, if somebody writes like, this is a very easy thing to do.
The
You know,
Which
traditions.
thing?
Like this
Come up with a
for
name.
December, yeah. Holiday trip,
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah,
easy. Technology, how it's affected the celebrators, not so much.
Right.
And I would say that would be the same for the Veterans Club and all the other.
That could be a discussion though, how some people struggle and some people need help in the community.
That has nothing to do with veterans,
Well,
unless
as our
they
community,
offer that.
since it's one of our cornerstones, it's kind of affects everybody in
Cool.
some way, but some people might struggle with it and that might be the way it affects them. And maybe they, there are programs, there are folks who help out other people deal with technology.
That's a really big theme amongst my age right
Okay.
now. I mean, it really is how fast technology is
30-year-old?
changing. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Woohoo! Every time I've been down to pick up my grandson, I know how old I am. No. But I think even focusing on different programs or activities or whatever to learn the technology or what's available for in these different avenues. Having just gone through estate stuff. Yeah.
But that's not something that the contributors would jump on.
Well,
We
but
like, unlike her,
a little bit. Yeah, I mean, think about different ways that things have affected, like and as far as the gardeners. The online advantages of being able to take a picture of your plant and find out what is going on with it and having an agriculture extension office send you try this next. Those
that's not
programs
specific
are
to
available,
celebration.
but that's technology and it's gardeners. I mean, just trying to think out, those are all topics that are way in the forefront of everyone's mind right now.
Mhm.
So,
Um,
I mean, the reason
I
why
think
this
it's a
is on
good
the
one.
agenda is you want to elicit ideas.
All the
Since the
things.
committee is up and running, I thought
So how
Would
about
be
this?
great input.
Because we have no context right now. 'Cause I
Right.
don't think any of us remember the themes for the previous issues. How about this? As an action item for you, simple.
Mhm.
Send to the committee. Here are the themes, since we started themes in July of 2020. Here are the themes that have been in each publication for the last 12 months. So we see, okay, July was, so we know all that. And ask us to provide input from whatever month you designated, what, if you want us to give you input from January through July,
Sure.
we can do that. And we will all agree to do that. You could even do this remotely. Unless you're going to Africa or something.
Europe,
Okay. you're not
With a
going
bunch
out.
of cousins,
So
so I'm not gonna be in any
we
state
will
of
give you
mind.
by for the next meeting,
But I can.
you'll be able to
Yeah.
project the ideas that we provide, and everyone has to agree. Let's
Sure.
say it's August the 3rd today. Everyone has to agree by the week of Labor Day that we will send back to
Okay.
Michelle and for everyone to see our thoughts for themes for the rest of the year.
But we already have the things from this past year.
Okay, so we have that. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we have that
Right.
already.
Okay, so there's one less thing.
I'm going to go back.
Has hers.
I have now 3 copies. There's
Okay.
Another one. of
Because
the
you gave it
magazine.
out last month.
I think so.
I was gonna go back just for my
But I
own
didn't.
and check to see, like with the regular contributors,
Mhm.
how many of them adhere to this topic, to these topics. You know, if there's 12 regular clubs or whatever, how many of them actually focused on education in August? Just for my own benefit.
So as person who's been editing them, I kind of look at it as a loose suggestion. I don't consider it something that all the contributors have to strongly adhere to. I feel like it helps make it a bit more cohesive than it otherwise would be. And as
Mhm.
Jacob mentioned, it helps with the idea for the cover. So that we
Sure.
at least set a bit of a tone, but it doesn't have to be every word there has to be about education. You know, it's okay if people talk about their clubs or their efforts or their organizations or whatever.
That's good.
At least that's how I look at it, and I feel like that allows for personality and character of each of the contributors while still
To come
keeping a
through.
bit of cohesion.
Sure, that's great.
August is back to school.
August was back to school
And
because that's when
CDD's article was on healthy ponds.
Correct,
The connection,
because
there isn't.
there
but that
wasn't
was
one in
the-
that case,
was what was.
but it was relevant
precedent and relevant to them.
for them at this time of year, and they thought it was
Yeah,
important
but-
for the community.
But the theme doesn't mean that every single article
Right.
has to. It's-
That's what I'm saying.
it's sort of,
Yes.
I have to be a cover, there must be a cover, so that
Right.
covers off on that. And maybe if there's just one article in there, perhaps,
At least one.
that probably would suffice
Mhm.
for the standpoint of what this publication is
Usually-
able to do. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, it often ties into this, usually a couple pages that are open for input from town hall and, you know, as
Mhm.
far
We
as
try to make it
and tie into those.
because
heavily.
especially if it's a cornerstone, which we've been
Mhm.
trying to focus on since it's been the 30th anniversary, trying to hit those.
Yep.
Just to honor our history and our foundation.
When David Anderson was president, he did a monthly article for the Celebration News.
Mhm.
Maybe we start doing that, you know, written by whoever on the board,
The
or maybe it's a
president.
rotating thing, and have them focus on August education and how far Celebration has gone, and put that kind of like in the front of the magazine
like a
someplace.
message from the president.
Exactly, that's exactly what it was. And then, you know, if people go along with that, but at least that will explain why your cover has a bunch of kids going to school with lunch boxes,
Mhm.
you know, and it'll explain why
Fine.
at the very, very beginning. And then if folks want to follow along with it, they can with the clubs and stuff.
Definitely open to that. I wouldn't want to burden someone with, that requirement, but if they're open to it and they'd be interested, for sure.
So can we agree that we will provide
Some
ideas to Michelle
Mhm.
by the week of Labor Day?
Mhm.
You want them for 12 months? Or do you want them for? 6
If you'd like, yes, I'm open to
Let's
whatever
go
you
12
all.
months. And,
Got it.
just send a reply to all. So that we all see what people are providing, and then that way, the next meeting, you'll be able to say, wow, here's what I want. You could even propose to us for our
Mhm.
review. Here's where I landed based on your input.
Okay,
So that we said by Labor Day.
The week of Labor Day, yeah.
Yep, got it. Perfect. I like it.
I think Labor Day is the 7th. Right?
Mhm. September 7th.
Okay, I don't know what we intended on committee goals and objectives input. I thought we did that last meeting, but
Well, we talked about it. We had, again, this is to my point. We talked about it. We all were of the opinion that the goals and objectives as stated in our directives from board don't have any measurable components.
well, not all of them. Some of them did,
Yeah.
but yeah. And I thought Bill had some ideas to make some of them measurable, have a measurable
But I
component.
don't recall him saying anything then. And again, that could have been a bit, Bill, would you mind, since you thought about this already, would you mind speaking? Bill? I
Okay,
have them here. I don't.
I can pull them up.
Thanks.
we project them?
Yeah, I can do that.
Also a fan of deadlines and goals and objectives too.
This-
By year end 2027, develop and implement a balanced social media content plan or whatever, I mean, it's.
Sometimes, the goals and objectives do carry on. So like if something isn't,
Oh, I know that.
fully, accomplished, and I think a couple maybe have been carried on from last year as well too. Some of the objectives are things that probably will continue to always be an objective, just so it's part of the committee's, charter / resolution.
Well, and if that's the case, and you're correct, it is, then this should say continue. Or, something to show that it's an ongoing process. Or, review. The so and such plan from 5 years ago. Or, something just to keep everything fresh and current. Rather than just develop. Because at some point, it's, there it is.
That's good.
So like number 2, is that gonna carry on to 27? No. That's done.
That'll be done.
Yeah, so that one is not gonna be, that has a shelf life, so that one.
And these were
Okay.
approved,
Mhm.
these were approved in March,
Correct.
so this shouldn't have even been on here then.
So why don't we
I
add,
mean, what, highlighting the celebrations 30th through the ongoing theming of
You thought that
communication.
was already determined though by March, right? You would have done that at the
I,
end of last year,
The 2026 and 2027. So
right? So
between
this
March
was,
and December, we're still promoting the
Right.
30th anniversary.
but we've already. We're not gonna be highlighting celebrations 30th anniversary.
No, that has a
Yeah,
shelf
yeah.
life December of 2026.
So
That
was
Kind of
done
given.
and probably should not have been on there because this was
no, we
approved.
reached our 30th though. That this
This was approved
year,
this year.
Yeah.
So we're done.
this fall is the 30th.
No, we do not have to highlight Celebration 30th anniversary through ongoing theme communications anymore because it's already been done
No,
or
it's
will
still
be done.
continuing.
Social
I would
media
say
requests for Founder's Day.
Communications is broader than just the
December.
magazine.
I think it gets to your point that
But that's the,
I agree with Jacob that there is an end date and it's not now, it's gonna be in November. So maybe
Or December.
you'll feel better if we add a date, an end date for the number 2, which will be, through November 2026, because that would be officially support
Mhm.
for the 30th anniversary.
That'll be
That's
the end
really-
of it.
So I
And
think
that
it-
should be continued to highlight celebrations because
that's fine.
this is in March.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if we add,
April.
if we add the timing component to
Mhm.
number 2, that would satisfy, actually it'd be reality check, but it also satisfies your point, which is a valid point. But I do think it just needs a little bit of clarification. I don't know the status of the social media plan, the content plan. I mean, does one exist?
There's one written down and spelled out, but I work with different entities that require social media. For
Mhm.
example, the events team sometimes sends me requests. I have to do some things for our offices, for PROA occasionally. So it's sort of just different departments that work with me.
So okay, so the implication here for not just using number one as an example is that someone's actually gonna put together a plan.
Social
for
media
us to look
plan.
at. Maybe we just change the language there and say leverage social media platforms to enhance overall communications about activities and celebration. That would then mean that, and it tells the board that we will look at social media platforms and to leverage their existence for every single thing that we do. And we're committed to that, which is what you're doing. But here it says you're doing a plan. And that's not what you're doing. You're incorporating social media as part of your existing daily life in your role right now. So that's, I think we should just change the language there to show that you are doing that social media is part of what you do.
So this document, I mean, so this is what the board has basically provided to the community as their expectations of the committee. I think you can create a living document of how do you plan to fulfill those expectations, goals and objectives, and such you can. So for this one, you could say, committee expects to do so by leveraging social media so that you can reword it how you are trying to understand it.
Right.
Keep
right.
that as a document that you look at each time in this meeting. And then how do you plan to meet those? So like this one, if you're saying you want to, you're trying to, what I gather from this is you as a committee are trying to gather consensus on what does this mean and how do you meet it? Is that?
Yeah,
That's it.
this is
This is
basically,
vague.
this is the game plan for the year. This is the things that we're committed to do.
Mhm.
And I think what you're saying is, how do we show the progress that we've made or that we're actually doing these things? There's really no end date to number one, because social media is part of every single thing that you do every month,
Mhm.
to support the editorial content for each theme. So, and social media is part of that. So, I mean, that would make it measurable. You go back and say, okay, in December for the holiday theme, did we leverage the content in the publication
Switch
with social media? Yes, we did.
So just so as you have a living document, you can go back to in your meetings and kind of see where you are in your projects.
Basically, every month, figure out whether we reached across social media to see where we are, or. Is that what you're?
See, and the way these are all worded, except for the last one. Well, there's definitely action required, but nobody has given us direction as to how they think we should accomplish this. And we could go around and around and around for months on end, trying to figure out how we're going to accomplish it.
Yeah, it's very, look, I agree. It's very broad.
Right.
And it's kind of,
Subjective.
a lot of it is, basic stuff, but there's no specificity to demonstrate accountability for these things. What?
I have an idea.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Can we ask the board, can we explain to the board the difficulty that we're having with that and ask them at the next workshop to give us, what they would like to see us do? Do they want us to survey the community? Do they want us to do, focus groups? Do they want us to, just to kind of give us a little bit more what they would like to see right off the bat that'll help us find a direction to go to?
I think like,
Katie, I
oh.
would say, my recommendation would be to, as a committee, list where you think you are with these, and if you have questions, list what those questions are,
That's the point.
and
We're
then
no
provide it
place.
to the
We're no
board.
place.
okay,
Let's-
so
He's
I
asking us to do that.
think basically, if you think about it, you guys are the people that have the communication expertise, right? in the past, committees have discussed as far as like social media, what type of content to put out. A couple committees ago, one of the things was, should our social media be highlighting, say, national holidays? Right? Or should our social media be focused more on and then the reasoning behind that, if there's too much being highlighted, does it start to wear out? Do you start to not will residents not pay attention? So what is the content that, should be focused on by, our town hall staff to put out for residents to get the most visibility to provide the most value? The board doesn't have specific recommendations because they're not communication, they're not the one taking on the communications
Right.
expertise. That's on the committee. So you can look at what type of content that is being put out now and then provide guidance or insight on how to frame that going forward. And then once that is
Like
done.
me.
What?
Everywhere. Nothing.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I love us. So then you can provide your expertise on what type of content should be provided on our social media for residents.
So basically, you've built the ship. You want us to steer it into port.
Because you're the experts in communications.
How about if we do a, between now, I don't know if we want to make it again Labor Day or maybe the following month. We all give this a lot of thought and under each bullet, give a couple ideas how we might research, how we might identify, I'm looking at 3, how we might evaluate and see what we come up with and see if there's maybe you and I will say the same thing on evaluate the thing. And then it'll give us some direction.
We can do that.
Because again, I know me, we can go around and around and around with this stuff, which we've been doing kind of, sort of, without a focus, kind of.
I would say you have these goals and objectives loosely defined by the board. Run with them. You have a liaison here as your guide rails, where if they say you're running not in line with the directive, that's part of what Katie's role is to keep you on track. And if it's broad if it's broad, it's because that's what the board's asking.
Well, they're
Or
probably
left over.
asking broad because, like she said, they're not the experts. We're supposed to be the experts. But I
You're
think
the
for
advisors to the board on this.
purposes and for the purposes of these meetings, we need to come to an agreement how we're going to approach each of these things. So we're not just going around and around in circles month after month.
Okay, so how about this? For the next meeting, we come prepared to discuss, not to discuss, what are the specific elements that should be added to each of these objectives to demonstrate that, the tactically, what will be done to achieve the objective.
Yep.
And in fact, why don't we do this? Let's commit for the next meeting to make this the first part, unless we get Green Lady shows up. But if she doesn't, why don't we commit to a good 15-20 minutes on the next agenda just to do this? Because that's the only way it's gonna get done if we just do it.
Exactly.
And
And I
what will
think
our,
any ideas that we have, we should share prior to the meeting. So if we look at that and say, if you have any questions about it, we can already have them ready. If something I'm saying, I think is similar to you, I can contact you and say, I was thinking of that, but what if?
I think we should get in the habit of doing a lot of reply all emails.
You're right.
That way everyone sees what everyone else is thinking about. And it doesn't matter, you respond to everyone. And so that, and we just collect those thoughts. So that everyone is starting at the same place and there's no surprises, there's no secret discussions. It's just so much easier that way. And plus we get the mysterious Fernando possibly to be part of that discussion as well, since we don't know who he is. So let's just we'll try to tighten the agenda for the next meeting. And if we get our guest,
I'll let you know as soon as I know.
we'll know, and maybe we just have the guest and do this in the next meeting.
Which brings up me, something else I thought about with, the agenda. Some organizations have new business, old business. I wonder if we should, if a lot of this stuff is carryover, if that would be old business and new business, would be something new. Just thought, that's just something that popped into my head. So we have 2 tasks between now and the next meeting, correct? Yes,
Yeah, themes,
themes, and then how we're
thinking about
gonna
this.
figure out how to do all
Yeah,
this
but
stuff
we're
in a
gonna do it
logical
in the
way.
meeting. We're gonna do it in the meeting.
Yeah.
And we've done that before. We actually used the meeting as a working session
Mhm.
for the committee to actually create something.
Mhm.
And that's what we're gonna do.
But
Okay.
we could also take time during this month to create our vision of something and share it.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
fine.
mean-
Share it as a reply all, 100%.
Okay, good.
And I have a
Okay.
third task of contacting Greek
Right.
Celebration.
So the next meeting,
Mhm.
get potential guest speaker.
Mhm.
Michelle's gonna share where she landed with the input we're gonna give on the themes. We're gonna pop them up there. We're gonna look at them.
Okay.
We're gonna do this.
All right.
That's what we're doing next meeting.
Okay.
Any updates from Crow Board? I just add that just in case there's something that you want to mention to us that I guess it sounds like no, but it's just there as a template. So, and I don't know what this adhering to
That's me.
Friday Flash guidelines.
That's me. Just, I don't know if I should just, here, let me. So what started me along this path was I saw in one of the, I don't remember if it was Monday Matters or whatever, that we were publishing that the soiree was open for taking reservations, but celebrate the, what do you call it? The foundation's big fundraiser in December.
Okay.
And I thought, why are we, that's not till December. Why are we putting it down now? So, and then we got the guidelines. So then looking through the guidelines, so that's what got me thinking about it. So the reason that, so you're all aware that at one point we used to have a website like that you would go to and you would ask all your questions and we would communicate things that way. Then that went away. And then they decided on sending, the emails, and there's way too much information, like in the Friday Flash. So when I was on the board, we thought, well, let's break it up. We'll do the Monday Matters that has to do with more business stuff, and we'll do the Friday Flash that has to do with fun. So because everything, it got to be too much stuff. In the 31st Friday Flash, there were 18 flyers. 18. These little things here in green, I would say are not, but so these things are supposed to be fun and community focused. I looked up community focused and that does not apply to these. The definition does not fit. Something more like fun, family friendly, events that appeal to a large segment of population. The green things, I don't find particularly fun. I don't think a blood drive is fun. I don't think a school district meeting is fun. That would probably be better placed in the Monday Matters. The orange are club meetings. This thing I passed out, first of all, these guidelines say no prices. This has prices in it. And there's way too much information there.
Like an ad.
Exactly. This is an ad for this coffee shop, and you're not going to tell me anything different. Because there's a link here that says Celebration Art Circle, Dream Sketchpad, but all the rest of it is an ad for this business. The Celtic Experience.
Same thing.
Yep, Celtic Tours Vacations. Sure, they're using our facility, but okay. And then the last one, again, this is another club meeting, Democrats of Celebration. Now I put little asterisks on here. This here, it says in the guidelines that anything like a save the date or registration should just have, Celebration Community Course, save the date, Christmas concert, blah, 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 done.
Okay, so these are all good points. So my question is, Michelle,
Yes,
when you do the Friday, do you send around the Friday flash content to us to look at?
do I send it ahead of time? No.
Should we?
Develops up until the day of.
Typically, you have a draft the day before, but if she sends it out, she needs a response within 4 hours typically. That's what we do as far as internal.
That's
I mean,
it's a big
these are-
office effort.
These are fair. Some of these are very fair that we talk about internally on,
We do.
and that's why this is why the guidelines were developed in the first place, because it was even more.
18 flat.
That-
These yellow things, those are beyond this. It says you prefer 2 or 3 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, I think it is, 1 or 2 weeks advance, 2-week preferred window. The ones that are the rose color, those are within that window. The yellow ones are beyond you say the maximum is 6 to 8 weeks. All the yellow ones are at that
So they
6.
require a registration or ticket sales. and
Well,
then they
yeah, so the
open it up.
registration should be, open now, registration for whatever, and then 2 weeks before, or 3 weeks before, if you want to be generous with your functions, start putting out the flyer.
I feel that it's understandable that the folks would want a flyer because people might with a one-liner be like, what
Then
what am I registering for?
put a,
What-
put a QR code there
The link.
or a link. But I mean, 18 flyers, and like my girlfriend said, she has a attention span of a gnat. If depending where something new is placed in there, somebody may or may not see it. But like I said, the whole purpose of doing these 2 things was to bring down the content of these. And I think
I think there's some very valid points. Friday, I will just share, for the committee's perspective, Friday Flash is often the last open bucket. So if anyone reaches out to town hall, we have a lot of no. Can I put our flyer on the bulletin board? No, unless you're one of our programs. How can I promote through you? Can I be in your magazine? Typically, no, unless you buy an advertisement. So the last spot that we allow some, let's meet you in the middle, is Friday Flash. So it is the biggest bucket. So I do just put that preface out on, in the background of your mind, know that this is often the only thing, if we can offer a community group,
Yeah.
anything at all, it's the last spot.
Last resort.
I'm not saying that what your points on trying to shorten it aren't valid, because it's a long document because it has the least amount of no's to it.
But
All of that to
advertisements are
say that
prohibited,
these
so that's a
things-
no.
Are something that I think we would lean for committee's input on, as far as adding restrictions to this. If Michelle wants to add a restriction, they're gonna say, why? Why are you doing this? And so it would need the backing of, well, because we reviewed this up from our communications committee and we've adjusted or seen an issue that we're trying to solve.
Well, everything I stated, I took from the verbiage is right off the guidelines.
Yeah.
The thing about just a 2 or 3 lines blurb.
So can we agree that, starting with the next Friday Flash, it sounds like we can't provide input to you in time before publication because of the close proximity to your deadline and the input.
Probably
But
not.
can we do it retroactively? Like just look at it and then it's one of these things that we're gonna have to get better at it and accept, that it's a work in progress, but we can't stop the publication because it has to get. No, I'm just saying,
But my point is things have gotten out of
yeah,
hand
so
again.
what you've done, which is good, is brought it to our attention as something that we need to be a little more circumspect about it over time. And we're just gonna look at it post publication every week. So that, okay, we forget we're still accepting ads, we need to stop doing that. I'm using that as an example. Or whatever the other criteria are, this is a club, should be in another section. So that eventually, and it's not a focus on you, it's just it's a legacy thing more than anything else, is that eventually we're gonna get it 100% right, but it's not gonna happen before the next Friday Flash. And it might not happen for the next 3 Friday Flashes. So, but eventually we will get it right. And the next battle will be based on what you just pointed out. How do you explain it to people who are used to doing it the old way? And that we'll have to, we can help you
Yeah.
do that. But to make it very clear, this did not meet our guidelines because of blank. It's an ad. So,
For your context, there is a fair amount of that discussion that happens when people submit
Right,
things.
right,
And
right.
there's a fair amount of things that are not seen because
but
of
it-
that or have to be revised, et cetera.
Yeah.
We have that ongoing.
right, but over time, when
Mhm.
people start seeing things are being omitted because they thought that, whereas they've been allowed before, they're gonna ask that question again, and we're just gonna have to say, well, we are being a little more stringent on adhering to the guidelines
Mhm.
because people have sort of the tendency to try to get away with things. I mean, it's
Of
just
course they do.
human nature, and we can't do that because we have a space limitation, whatever reason that makes sense. But I think that's, so the goal will be like, let's say in 2 months or 3 months, we will actually get it right based on the guidelines.
My suggestion would be, we can take this document and then as committee members review these, if they want to just shoot an email back maybe to the committee.
Reply all,
Like, hey,
always.
here's this, and what, to keep the conversation in the meetings, like Michelle can hold all of those to create a document of all the comments received. And then after, because I know your next meeting, you have a priority. Once you have a meeting that you're saying, oh, we don't really have much for the agenda, you could say, hey, let's pull this up and let's do it, let's revisit. And then all of the items that we've discussed and where do we?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It'd be
as an
good,
option?
yeah, and this I think is helpful as a visual, and if we save this, and then when we discuss it again, what, maybe like 2 months, 3 months from now, after we kind of gone through some of this, if we can compare and see like the progress. I think that is good, and then also in the past, Michelle, like, you can, like what Doug said, lean on the committee as far as like forming any type of responses.
Sure.
Because in the past, I know the committee has helped management
Definitely.
kind of like write those responses or write those communications. And then it's coming more from like, the association, the committee, the residents, rather than just management saying like,
Correct.
oh, this is my,
I just decided this on my own.
Yeah,
Correct.
and then
It's not
that
like-
helps,
Yeah,
helps people understand.
definitely.
I think what we launched these guidelines in December of last year. And so maybe that would be one of those, it's a working that,
Mhm.
like you said, the
Take
last
a
one,
year
we
to
don't want to touch
evaluate.
them too often
Mhm.
because people learn them. But that could be a good committee goal of trying to maybe have a refresh or taking any of these things into account and comparing to the guidelines where if we have to adjust, tweak,
Right.
make a version in December to roll out.
And then also one of the, goals and objectives was for feedback. So like,
Mhm.
once maybe, these guidelines are kind of like presented more to, through the Friday Flash, and then communications explains why if you get pushback. And then if you get feedback after that, then you bring that back to the committee to say, listen, we're going through this whole process and I keep hearing this, and this. And then that's something that we track for like the future to see, okay, how, how's this going,
One of the points that may need to be discussed, just as a heads up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in some of the agreements with the clubs and the partner programs, there's a fair amount of us helping them promote themselves in those agreements. And so if you see clubs in here, that's part of
what I'm
why,
looking at.
things like that.
Here's the Friday Flash.
It's things like that we are under,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, an obligation.
Well,
Oh,
it
geez.
benefits the association, the partner, having a partner program.
But but the one for the writers group, I went to the first, but there was like, and maybe it's grown, I hope, and for their point.
The arts thing.
No,
Yeah.
that one, the artist group, the
Yeah,
one that's
artist.
clearly an
artist group.
advertisement for that coffee shop.
It's immediate meetup of the.
I
Celebration
understand,
of Arts.
but look at the content.
I've
Sit
been,
down, have a great cup of coffee, blah, 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 blah.
I've been
you know.
reading it.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here reading it while you were
Yeah, that's
talking.
more of an ad for the coffee shop than a notice of their meeting.
They're allowing them to meet there. And I think that's, I
think-
understand that.
Good.
I understand that. Yes, they're allowing them to meet
That
there.
might be one.
So I
we
do
wanna look at.
understand that.
And I think,
I do
I
understand
think the
that.
committee is doing a great job just discussing it. Like, this is what's so great about the committee. You guys, everyone kind of looks at something, through a different lens, but then having like, all of you all provide your feedback and insight, I think it's really valuable too for each thing.
Okay. We're late. So I'm gonna bring this to a close.
No.
Confirm. So our next meeting on the 14th, we've already talked about that.
Where's it gonna be, or don't we know yet?
Here.
I asked where it's gonna be here.
Any committee comments? I think we've had a lot of comments.
We accomplished a lot today. Thank you for your leadership.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting. Someone needs a second.
I'll second.
We have a second. This
All in
meeting is-
favor? Aye.
All in favor? Yes, it's unanimous.